So let's have a little chat, shall we? I have to keep my voice down a little bit because my friend has to get up early in the morning and go to work. But let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a little chatty chat. Like I said, I gotta keep my voice down because I don't want to wake up my friend or my husband, rather. You know, we live in a world now where people are snapping. And I include myself in this paradigm. And the reason that people are snapping is because a lot of us are waking up to the realization that the world that we live in is not as it should be. You feel what I'm saying? We are in the we normal people, normal people who stay in their own lane. Um, we are in the midst of a bunch of mentally ill, low vibrating, low IQ, miserable, some of them are drug addicted weirdos. We're in a weirdo effect right now. And it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, it doesn't matter what your race is. It just so happens most of the weirdos that I'm having to be dealing with are so-called heterosexual men and women, although I think they're really backwards, dysfunctional gay people on the low. And I'm talking about people that I live around. I really don't think that they're heterosexual people. I think that they're sexually confused people who don't know how to handle their motherfucking energies. And these are old motherfuckers. And I don't give a fuck who it offends. And let me say this too. Not that I really care, but I noticed that several people unsubbed from me when I did the video talking about the crackhead that I had to check. And I want to say this because I don't want people to get the wrong impression. I don't give a fuck about your subs. All of you can unsub if to be truthful with you. Because I don't get on, I'm not trying to build up my channel. I'm not trying to get, AdSense or none of that. I don't care anything about any of that bullshit. I had that a long time ago, and I noticed that when you're up under the tutelage and up under the microscope of YouTube, they can manipulate you into saying things and doing things that they want you to do, and that includes, and not limited to, not living in your truth, all for a couple of motherfucking AdSense dollars. Nah. So if anybody has an issue with me cursing and speaking my truth, get the fuck off my motherfucking channel. Unfucking sub. Get the fuck off my channel. Because one thing that I've learned is this. Sometimes listening to people that you don't really care for, because I listen to people that I don't care for all of the time on YouTube. And sometimes you can learn from even those that you might not agree with. So those 4 people that unsubbed, go fuck yourselves. Because what that tells me is that you are weak-minded. And you have to go or listen to a certain level of consciousness, but in actuality you're supposed to be listening to multiple levels of consciousness, even from people that you may not even like. Okay? I'm speaking my truth about an experience I had with a low gutter rat bitch who was fucking with me, not really fucking with me because the bitch knows better, but she was fucking with somebody that I care about, my friend. And I have a right to, as an occultist and as a person, to express myself. And that's the age that we live in. I know somebody, a lady on here now that I'm kind of cool with, who's being stalked by multiple fucking other women. Okay? And people have an issue with her speaking out against her experiences. Because we live in a culture now where these weirdos, these passive aggressive weirdos, and these drug addicts, and all of these weirdos who have issues, we have to appease them. Not me, but this society that we live in, this liberalized, this global liberalization, we have to appease all of these weirdos and drug addicts and these diseased people who have actively and who have firsthand destroyed their own lives. And we have to feel fucking sorry for them? No, the fuck we don't. And I feel the same way about people in my motherfucking family. The same exact way. If you actively participate in destroying your own fucking life, who the fuck am I to stand in your motherfucking way? Who the fuck am I to stand in your fucking way? But we are basically over a barrel having these people forced in our neighborhoods, having these people forced in our lives, all in the name of we can't discriminate. All in the name that we can't discriminate. If in my reality, I discriminate. I don't want certain people around me. I don't want certain people around me. I don't care about, it ain't about race. It's about culture, class, respect, and integrity. And the people that the world is catering to, they lack all of those characteristics across the board. And people like me and others who are normal, they're trying to put a muzzle on us, and they're trying to silence us using intimidation tactics, passive aggressive bullying, spell work. You know, sitting back, getting quiet when people walk by, doing all that type of motherfucking shit. That's spell work. Then laughing and grinning up in your face like they cool with you, but they really not. That's spell work too. And then we wonder why we have people going into, and I'm not agreeing with this because I know some of these motherfuckers are stupid on YouTube. I'm not agreeing with it, but we have to look at the culture that we live in and the type of people that we are creating. Then we wonder why we have people going into New York City subways, shooting people. Not agreeing with that. But people are snapping. And what's not being examined is the deeper root cause of it. Because people are frustrated. People are tired of people, bothering them. People are tired of having their voices restricted. People are tired of people telling them, you can't say that to this person. People are tired of people telling them, you can't say that because that's a woman. You can't really talk to a woman. I'm not talking about putting my hands, but you can't really talk to her like that because that's a woman. Or people are getting tired of, well, that's a man and it's a man's job. You can't have that because that's a man's job. You can't do that, or you're not in the right place because you're a woman. People have lost the ability to defend themselves even verbally. That was the whole thing about putting masks on people. And now that the masks are coming off, people are snapping. So anybody that has a problem with how I speak or how I express myself, if you take it fucking personal, get the fuck off my motherfucking channel and don't fucking watch me. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. And this is not to the people who genuinely watch me and want to hear what I have to say. This is not to you. This is for those people who come and they listen, and because I say one motherfucking thing that you don't like, oh, that means, oh, this person. No. No, it doesn't mean that. It just means I'm not for you. And if I'm not for you, and if you are one of these people who want to muzzle people and you want to muzzle their creativity and restrict what they say out of their mouths, get the fuck off my motherfucking channel. It's as simple as that. I am an occultist. I am a person who practices darker arts. And when I say darker arts, I'm talking about things that are hidden within, that are not in plain sight. That man that went into that subway and shot those people, although it was not justified and that was a horrible crime and he went after innocent people, but I guarantee you there was something going on within that man that he couldn't express. And see, that's never examined because we overlook certain people. We overlook certain people and we give attention to people who don't fucking deserve it. Drug addicts don't deserve attention. Drug addicts who actively destroy communities and destroy people's lives, they don't deserve housing. They don't deserve to live to get government benefits and assistance. They do not. They deserve to live on the motherfucking street, and they deserve to live in the circumstances that they created for their motherfucking selves. That's it, and that's all. And if you got a problem with what I'm saying, too motherfucking bad. Now, if you're a drug person and a drug addict and you working on helping yourself and you getting your life together, that's another whole thing. But when you are actively trying to make other people's lives miserable and trying to restrict people from speaking out against you, you won't restrict me because I'm like a force that these motherfuckers have never seen. You won't restrict me. I told that crackhead bitch, I told her that I was going to do everything in my motherfucking power to destroy her. And that's exactly what I'm doing because she got in my motherfucking lane. And when somebody gets in your motherfucking lane, I don't care if you're a man, I don't care if you're a woman, I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white. When a person gets in your lane unjustified, you have every motherfucking right to keep your foot on their motherfucking neck. And anybody that wants to come in and support that motherfucker, they gonna get that motherfucking work too. Because these people, these crackheads and drug addicts, and all of these people, all of these diseased people who've been put in place by the government, they push these people into communities that don't want them. They force these people on. I'm talking about people who are actively doing this shit, doing drugs, and causing harm. Okay? I'm not talking about people trying to rebuild their lives. I'm talking about people who are actively causing harm to people with their fucking drug activity and getting in other people's lanes, because truth be told, I don't give a fuck what motherfuckers do. You can smoke crack, shoot heroin, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. But if you're a cool person with me and you treat me with respect, I don't judge what you do. I've known many people that were on drugs. There was a lady that I knew years ago named Miss Carol. She's dead now. She was so sweet to me. Coming up when I was a little boy, she was very nice to me. She didn't do the shit that these motherfuckers do now. Miss Carol didn't do this type of motherfucking shit. Miss Carol didn't do the shit that these motherfuckers are doing. Miss Carol minded her business. She stayed in her fucking lane. And crackheads and drug addicts used to do that. They used to stay in their own motherfucking lane. But now they want to get in other people's motherfucking lane because the government low key has made crack legal, because they want to continuously destroy or continue to destroy the black community in particular. But crack just don't affect the black community. It affects the white community too, but they don't talk about that. They don't talk about the hardships that the white community goes through with crack and other controlled substances that destroy their communities too. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about the methamphetamine epidemic in the white community, because the only thing that they normally focus on are these black subjects who they use as guinea pigs to help destroy other people. Bringing these people into other people's communities that are stable, they bring them into destabilized communities. That right there is spell work in and of itself. Because what they want to do is, or what I think they want to do, I think they want to shut down the throat chakra and the voices of people that have a revolutionary mindset. And what better way to do that than to bring in these crackhead, diseased-minded types of people? They are disease-minded people. They are malicious, disease-minded people who come into communities to destroy. And I'm going to do everything in my motherfucking spiritual power to get these motherfuckers out of my motherfucking community. Because they don't bring anything of value. Now, like I said, if they're minding they motherfucking, they don't have a right to be. They don't have a right to exist if they are trying to cause problems for other people. They don't have a right to exist. And we have to get out of this mindset that, oh, everybody deserves the right to be and exist. No, they don't. No, they do not. Not when they're causing community problems. Not when they are a threat to communities. And not only are they threats to communities, they are threats to civilization. They are threats to children. Some of them. Most of them. Crack makes people do crazy fucking things. It is worse than heroin, if you ask me. Because at least heroin addicts, at least there is, because I've been around heroin addicts too. Heroin addicts, they mind their business. They do what they do. They nod off and go into their zonation. Fuck that meditation. Get into your zonation. People ain't ready for that. And I don't want to hear nobody else saying that. That's my motherfucking shit. If I hear you saying that, then you copying off me and we got a problem. But I'm not going to get too much into that. But fuck that meditation. Get into your zonation. But that's another video. They go into their zone. And they don't fuck with nobody. They don't fuck with nobody. They got their fractions of lunacy as well. But crackheads, and these are old crackheads, 60 plus, old black crackheads, sitting back causing problems. And they are put in place to destabilize communities. They are put in place. This is all by design. They put this shit in place to fuck black people up. Decent black people like myself and others who just want to live and be and live in peace. But you can't live in peace around destabilized, disease-minded people, mentally ill people. See, we don't talk about how some of these crackhead mothers molest their sons, sell out their daughters. We don't talk about how some of these crackhead mothers would suck their own sons' penises for a damn rock. We don't talk about that in the black community now, do we? We don't talk about how they pimp out their daughters and pimp out their sons. We don't talk about that. No, we're too ashamed to talk about it because it's not politically correct to say those types of things. So when you see people snapping, you have to understand it's all a full circle. People are tired of living in communities that have been destabilized by these drug addicts and these crackheads and these criminals who belong in prison or belong in the motherfucking grave. People are tired of their communities being victimized. They are tired of vulnerable elderly people being victimized. And people are fed up. Now, I don't know what the circumstances were as to why that gentleman, why that man went into that subway and did what he did. And I know people are going to get mad at me for saying this, which I don't give a fuck about because I have a mind of my motherfucking own and I ain't weak-minded. But you have to really look at the bigger picture. Why did that man do that? What was going on in his mind? Why are people snapping? People are snapping because they're fed up. They're fed up. Now, am I going to go around shooting people? Fuck no. I love my freedom too much. Even the illusion of it, okay? I love my freedom too much. That's why that crackhead bitch is still walking around. Okay? And I don't give a fuck who got an issue with what I'm saying. When you get in other people's lane, whether you're a male or female, you have to expect a response. When you get in my lane and you try to fuck with me, I'm relentless. Remember that movie Drag Me to Hell? I'm just like Mrs. Ganesh in that movie. Mrs. Ganesh is my motherfucking hero. She's my shero. Because that lady shamed her in that bank. And what did Miss Ganesh do? Miss Ganesh dug in that motherfucking ass in every way she thought of. She could think of, even after she died. And that's me. That's me. I'm just using that as an example. Don't get it twisted. You gotta know who the fuck you playing with. You gotta know who the fuck you playing with, because the level of crazy that I could really go to, people would not be ready for that. And I try not to tap into that place, but there are people who have no self-control who do. Just like that man who shot those innocent people in that subway, and he was dead motherfucking wrong for doing that, and he deserves to be in jail for life for doing that motherfucking shit because he went after innocent motherfucking people. But that man was a ticking time bomb for a long time. And what happens is, in this society, they wait until a person does the absolute most abominable, horrible act before they really take action. He should have been stopped a long time ago. But because we live in a culture that allows this type of stuff to happen, we live in a culture where we allow those types of people to exist among normal people because that man obviously had a lot of mental problems. We live in a culture that enjoys seeing people snap. People enjoy seeing stuff like that. It's like watching a caged animal. It's like we are other people's entertainment. That's what it's like. They're laughing at us as we destroy each other. They're laughing at us. Black, white, Latino, and they're using Latinos, they're using Asians, and they're using other races of people, as they always have done, to destroy other ethnicities in a sense. They're using you. And once they're done using you, Who are they going to, and I've said this before, who are they going to replace you with? Asians and Latinos. Who are they going to replace you with? They don't even give a fuck about white people anymore. White people, yeah, you know why white men are angry? You know why white men are snapping? Because they're not being heard. Yeah, we all know that they're racist and all that. We get that. Ain't nobody excusing that. But those white men are angry because they're not being heard. And when people are not heard, they snap. They snap. When they feel like they're not being heard, they snap. But because we don't invest in the right shit, that's why we never see these things coming. Because we allow these people to get to a place where it's too late to intervene. We live in a culture that tells you you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say that, you can't act in this way. You have to report people to the principalities. And then the principalities don't do a motherfucking thing to stop it. They tell you, oh, report it to us again if it escalates. That's why you have to take things into your own hands. I don't mean take the law. I don't mean take the law into your own hands. Let me be clear. I'm talking about as far as spiritually, as people would say. You have to take things into your own hands. See, when a person identifies themselves to me as an enemy, I get working. I start working. And I start maneuvering what I'm going to do. And they won't even know it. Like that crackhead bitch that is trying to destroy this community. That crackhead bitch I told you about. She doesn't even know what I'm doing behind the scenes. She doesn't even know. She's too busy thinking that everything is okay, and it's not. Because see, I have the power of word. I have the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue. Not only do I suck a mean dick real good, not only do I do that, and if that bothers you, get the fuck on too. But I have the power of my throat chakra, the power of words and my tongue at my disposal. This mouth is powerful. That's my power. What's yours? Most people cannot combat me because I cause a destabilization in their dimensions with just my words. Especially when you piss me the fuck off. My words can cause you trouble. I don't have to put my hands on people most of the times. I haven't gotten into a fight in many, many years. Not physically. My words are my voodoo. My hoodoo. My power. My voice. And chances are, so is yours. But our voices are being hindered. Our voices are being restricted because they are putting people in place in our communities, in our realities that don't belong. And I'm going to get these motherfuckers out of my reality. So this is why people are snapping. Because there's spell work being done at high levels to restrict our voices. And I, for one, I'm not standing for that shit no motherfucking more. I have a right to be. You have a right to be. You have a right to exist in your own fucking energy. You have a right to exist in this motherfucking world. Nobody put you here. Nobody has, what I'm saying is that none of these people that consider themselves your enemy have the right to make things difficult for you. And that is why my law is show your enemy no motherfucking mercy. I don't pray for no motherfucking enemies. Yeah, I pray for their motherfucking destruction. I don't pray for them. I don't pray for them. I pray for their destruction. I don't believe in showing mercy to enemies unless it's under certain circumstances. I do have some compassion, some, under very, very strict circumstances. If it's a misunderstanding and we can get through that, that's one thing. But when you cut a person off over a mild misunderstanding, then that person wasn't for you anyway. And that person is really identified to me as an enemy as well, because you pretended to be a friend, but in actuality, you were either using me and abusing me, and you really had no intentions of being a true friend to me. And that's a problem. And if people do that to you, that's an enemy. Like them dumb, ignorant, weak-minded motherfuckers over there in that occult, conscious community, that occult, weak, black conscious community. Them failed motherfuckers over there, they're a prime example of that. They pretended to be cool with me, but they really weren't. And if you get into one disagreement with them, oh, you're an issue or you're a problem. You feel what I'm saying? So that identified them to me as an enemy. Doesn't matter how many smiles are on their faces. They're enemies. Most enemies come to you with smiles. And see, Spirit is going to back me up, because I came into this walk of life with a pure heart. I didn't come with no malice. I never come to people with malice. I come with a pure heart. But because I'm a nice looking motherfucking young man, or middle-aged man now, because I'm a nice looking person, bitches and niggas are jealous of me. And I've learned that. Somebody told me that today. They said, Seer, niggas and bitches are jealous of you. I know why the niggas are jealous of me, but why are bitches jealous of me? You got fucking vaginas. Why you jealous of a whole grown fucking man? That's some sick, twisted motherfucking shit. And I'm not talking about nobody on YouTube. I'm talking about these weirdo bitches in this community that I live in. These weirdo bitches in this community. But you got to remember, I live in Washington, D.C. That's weirdo motherfucking central. It's the weirdo District of Columbia. That's what the W stands for, Weirdo District of Columbia. Or Weirdo Down Low Central. How about that? I know why niggas are jealous of me here, but why are you bitches here jealous of me? Because I don't want none of your motherfucking men. I probably didn't have them any motherfucking way. I don't want none of your motherfucking men. And I don't want you. So what the fuck you jealous of? Oh, I know what it is. You're jealous because I'm nice looking and I'm not paying you no motherfucking attention. I'm fucking gay. Same thing with gay people harassing heterosexual people. What the fuck is wrong with you? Getting in their lane. You don't like it when they get in our lane, so why you getting in their lane? Fucking with them. I don't come on to heterosexual men. Never. Never. Just like on and I know I'm going off topic, but that's what I do. Just like on the Real Housewives of Potomac, that white guy Michael Darby, him going around talking about he want to suck Juan Dixon's dick. I think that's so disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. I would never say no shit like that. Now I know I cut up on my motherfucking channel, but I'm on my fucking platform. And I'm not a public figure like that. But I would never go into a brother's face or any heterosexual man's face and disrespect them in that manner. I've never done any shit like that. And I thought because when I was part of that occult conscious shit over there, I thought that that was one of the reasons why they had some respect for me, because I did carry myself with some dignity and respect. But in actuality, that's what they despised about me the most. I guess if I was some, ratchet, no integrity having gay person, like the heterosexual bottom they got over there, I guess if I was like that, then I would be okay. They're all in this bullshit too. They want to restrict people's voices too. That fucked up ass occult black conscious community, that fucked up black occult conscious community that I was part of, they're all part of this bullshit too. They want to restrict your voices too and tell you, oh, you shouldn't react to certain things because that means you're too human or any of that bullshit. That's why them niggas are getting fucked up now spiritually and they can't even see it because they don't have spirit. Nah, you ain't talking to no motherfucking spirits. You may be talking to an energy, but you ain't talking to no real spirits because they're not on a high enough level to communicate with spirit. Because if you were communicating with spirit, you would have some semblance of integrity. If you were communicating with spirit, spirit would let you know and guide you that you may be affecting other people with your energy or with your spirit and how you do things, especially when you're in a position like some of those motherfucking worthless ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? They're all part of this, reason why people are snapping too. They steal money from people. This is what these niggas do. They steal your money. They fuck you over and then curse you out when you try to call them out on their bullshit. But they want people to respect them, right? I don't respect none of them motherfucking niggas over there. I don't. Because they are a problem. They're not teaching real consciousness anymore. They're teaching cartoon and clown consciousness now. That's what they're teaching. They're not teaching anything truthfully about the expansion of consciousness anymore. Them niggas are dead. They're not even tapped into their fucking spirit. And I can tell by how they speak and the words that come out of their mouth and the actions that they take. Stealing people's money. Begging for money. That's why if I have any real spiritual issues, I'm going to the black woman. I'm not fucking with no black men. A nigga with a dick and balls like me can't tell me a motherfucking thing. I have to go to the black woman because that's where you're going to get your real spirit from, the black woman. I have respect for black women. I don't have respect for crackhead bitches. And if you can't separate yourself from a crackhead rotten gutter bitch, and you think that I'm talking about all black women, then you need to get off my channel. No disrespect. This channel's not for you because it's raw. And I have the utmost respect for real black women, but I don't have no respect for no gutter rat crackhead bitches. And I don't care if you're black, white, Latino, Chinese, or any motherfucking thing else. And that's real motherfucking talk. I have the utmost respect for real black women. Real black women. Those motherfucking entities that I'm going at it with, they not even I don't even know if they real fucking women in a spiritual sense, because that's not that ain't no real feminine energy. That's some fucked up ass fucking energy. Anyway, that's all I really have to say. People are snapping because their voices are being restricted. Don't let them restrict your voice. And do not let them steal your fucking vision. Thank you.